Self-defense is not a crime. Welcome back to the TalkShack. Today we're going to be discussing the Kyle Rittenhouse. Well, we're going to go into the verdict, we're going to go into the trial a little bit, but we're going to kind of just give like a general overview of the whole situation because there's people out there that are still saying he crossed state lines with a firearm. No, he didn't. If you think that, you're stupid. You're literally stupid. So we're going to kind of correct all the morons out there and kind of correct a few things, actually, say some, maybe give some takes on what Kyle could have done in certain situations and, just kind of give our takes and our thoughts on it. It's been a crazy last couple weeks with all the content being thrown out there on this and the trial, the whole situation. So we kind of want to just wait until it all blew over. And now that we know the verdict, everything's done for now. Who knows what they're going to try to pull on them next, but we're just kind of going
Yeah, so we waited. All the facts have been presented. The verdict is in. We also have a special guest in the studio today.
Trev Dad.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Our former ad man, Trevor Prevost.
I think he's still our current ad guy. We haven't redone the ad, so he still does it.
Our current ad guy, Trevor Prevost.
Ad guy.
Ad guy.
All right, so honestly, we're just going to get right into it. Yeah, I brought an AR. We're going to demonstrate some things today. Well, I'm going to. And before anyone gets all bent out of shape about it, I'm a Marine Corps infantryman, so more than qualified to handle a firearm, and it'll be safe, and we'll show some proper techniques and just kind of some things. And then there was a piece of evidence that was given at the end of the trial that was just stupid and shows Kyle. They're trying to say he was aiming with his left hand. Just stupid. So we're going to go into that and say how that's just dumb. But until we get to that point, you want to just get right into the why were they there in the first place? Why were people at the at Kenosha?
Yeah, so obviously this was over a year ago. A lot has happened, and I'm sure everyone's tired of hearing the same things over and over again. So we really don't want to draw this out. We just kind of want to give a very brief overview, just talk about what happened, why Kyle was there, and why he did what he did that night, and how all of that plays into the trial that concluded this week. So basically, it began in the summer of 2020 in Kenosha, Wisconsin, after the fatal shooting of Jacob Blake by the police.
Justified shooting, might I add.
Justified shooting, that is an important thing to add, because there is still this perception that he shouldn't have been shot, that he was unarmed, shot in the back, whatever it is. But even he's come out and said, yeah. I had a knife.
There's a video out there.
Justified
there's a video out there of him in the hospital saying, yeah, I should have been shot. Go find it. Seriously, go find the video. It's out there.
But that kind of set the backdrop for the riots, which ultimately led to Kyle Rittenhouse shooting 3 individuals and killing 2 of them. So we can just kind of get into the reason he was there, and kind of debunk one of the misperceptions that Seth mentioned earlier with him crossing state lines.
With his pew-pew. With his pew stick.
Exactly. So everyone says that he crossed the state lines, right?
Yeah, let's just get into
that.
And
they make it sound like he went out of his way to get there that night.
Wrong! Idiots!
In reality, he had family in Kenosha, and he had even worked there himself. He was about 25 minutes away, just over the state line. So he crossed state lines to get there that night. He didn't have the gun at the time he crossed state lines, which is
he didn't travel across state lines with a gun. What they were trying to charge him with.
Exactly. And we'll get into exactly what his charges were, but that one was actually dismissed, crossing state lines with an illegal firearm, because the firearm was actually in Wisconsin already, so he never crossed state lines.
It wasn't a crime for him to have the gun.
Yeah,
let's get that clear. This right here, Kyle Rittenhouse. At 17, anyone over 16 in most states can own and carry,
can possess
a weapon like this. And
so
that is not a crime.
That is why the gun charge was dismissed, because the length of the barrel was actually allowed, and that's due to hunting rules.
You can't hunt with that thing.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's
I
the
wish.
that's the reason for the law, and that's why that loophole
Yeah.
exists. So because of the length of the barrel, he actually was allowed to possess that gun at the time. And like we mentioned, he didn't carry it across state lines. A friend had bought it for him, and it was going to be his when he turned 18. So it was legal for him to possess it, and he did not bring it across state lines, and he didn't own the gun either. But one important thing that we kind of wanted to address here was the impact that mainstream media had on the perception of this, and not just the perception of Kyle and his circumstance, but also the Jacob Blake shooting that led to this and allowed for riots. So
within 24 hours of this whole thing taking place, he was labeled a white supremacist, terrorist, a mass shooter. All these things. Joe Biden, even during his campaign, had a video of Kyle Rittenhouse on one of his ads saying, like, we need to stop the white supremacy. Like, all this bullcrap that was being said about him that just wasn't true. Watch the videos. And if you can watch the videos and be like, yeah, he was out there to kill some people, you're just a moron. I'm sorry. Like, there's no way to be nice about people that are trying to, call him guilty. Like, he's not guilty.
And honestly,
in any situation.
That's the thing that surprised me the most. I understand before the trial, there was a lot of misinformation out there. There were a lot of people who thought certain things that just didn't happen. And that kind of explained the split with some people thinking he was innocent, some thinking he was guilty. But after the trial, I really don't know how you can argue that it's not self-defense.
Nope.
It honestly, after the trial, you realize it shouldn't have even been brought to trial. The prosecutor was way beyond his depth. Every witness that he brought forward basically testified on behalf of the defense's position.
Did Kyle Rittenhouse shoot at you after you had assaulted him? Yes.
Yeah. Did he shoot at you before you pointed a gun at him? No. Did he wait to shoot you until after you pointed a gun at him? Yes. Okay then. I guess we're done here. It's self-defense.
Hey everyone, let's go home. You know what? That settles it. We're done here. They should have just left. Why? There's no point finishing the trial. It's just,
yeah. But I guess we realized we didn't really talk about exactly what happened that night.
Yeah.
So we'll quickly just
Again, we're not going to get too in depth in this because a lot of you watching it do probably know all that happened. But for the onesies and twosies, they're like, wait, so he didn't shoot black people? For you morons out there.
Nope, he did in fact shoot 3 white people.
The guy that was there to fight blackness shot 3 white people. 3 white criminals.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually pretty crazy, though. That you could just, you could fire 3 random shots into a crowd, and they all hit criminals and rapists.
Yeah, and he didn't just fire 3 shots.
No, he didn't. That's that. Yeah, better stop, not spread false
information.
So
he, like we mentioned, he shot 3 people. The first was Joseph Rosenbaum, and
child rapist.
He was a child rapist. That's
it shows you who was there.
Yeah, right.
Like it shows you who was at these riots, what was going on.
It's the rapists that care about Black Lives Matter, dude. The white child rapists, they're the ones that support Black Lives Matter.
I would just say it was people capitalizing on a chance to do some bad, and riots are a good time to do that. But anyway, the first individual he shot was chasing him, had threatened him earlier in the night, had thrown something at him, and was carrying around a chain, which the prosecutor doesn't think is a deadly weapon.
It's not.
Which is crazy to me, because all you have to prove for self-defense is that Kyle thought his life was in danger, or even he was just in danger of being physically harmed. So I think that's fairly obvious with Joseph Rosenbaum. The second person he killed was Anthony Huber, who hit him over the head with a skateboard after he had fallen down. And this was after the first shooting. So he was actually being chased by a crowd, and we'll show a video of this that will kind of give you a better idea of exactly what happened if you hadn't seen the video yet.
Yeah, it's just a warning, viewers' discretion. It's not real bloody, but I mean it's him shooting 2 people. So
yeah. And the second person in that video is the third person who was shot. He was shot in the bicep, not fatally.
His bicep was vaporized, according to
it was pretty nasty, actually.
It was awesome.
He pointed a gun at Kyle, and like we mentioned, we were talking a little bit about the prosecutor's witnesses. Kyle didn't fire at him until the gun was pointed at him. So those were the 3 people he shot. The first 2 fatally. Gage Groschwitz, or however you
Gross
say it.
Krutz, Gross Krauts.
However you say it.
Krauts? He's a Kraut.
He survived, and he's actually suing the city. So he really needed...
He should be in
Rittenhouse
jail.
to be
That
guilty.
kid should be in jail. For other reasons. Actually, I think...
They all should have still been in jail. And he wasn't actually allowed to possess a weapon, which is important as well. But
Nobody cares.
not specifically to the case.
Nobody cares.
That's true. So do we want to show the video? Do we want to talk about the charges? The final verdict, or...
Yeah, let's just finish the overview, because get this nonsense. Like, the trial was a joke, a complete joke. Shouldn't even have been a trial.
All right.
Basically, it was the prosecutor calling
It
Kyle
was
a coward, saying he brought a gun to a fist fight.
Oh, you play Call of Duty, you must be a mass murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the trial summed up. It was stupid comments like that, and the defense basically being like, jury, like, come on. You've seen the videos.
Which was amazing that they took 3 days to
I know. I was starting to
verdict.
get worried. I was like, man, it's been 2 days now.
Yeah.
It really did feel like they were trying to find any way
but in the end,
to say guilty.
they came to the right conclusion. They found him not guilty on these charges. First-degree reckless homicide, 1 count. 2 counts of first-degree recklessly endangering safety. First-degree intentional homicide. Attempted first-degree intentional homicide. And then the gun charge, which was dismissed prior. So those were all the counts, and he was found not guilty on all of them. So do you want to show the video? And
yeah, let's show.
We've kind of discussed it, but now you can see for yourselves.
Yeah, this video is Kyle shooting. The heck's his name? Gross
Anthony Huber.
Huber and Gross Krutz. And this is the one of him getting hit in the head with a skateboard. We're gonna let you guys watch it the first time, and then we'll kind of play it again, and we'll have some audio. We'll be commentating through the video. But here's the clip. We'll play without.
To kind of set the scene, this was after the first shooting of Joseph Rosenbaum, where there's kind of a crowd chasing him. You'll see that he falls and then is attacked, and that's when the 2 shootings occur. That's Kyle there running away. Attempts to kick him in the head, and there was Anthony Huber, who had just hit him with a skateboard shot, and then Gage Groschwitz, who pointed a pistol at him and was shot in the bicep, and then you saw him run away. No. Gage runs away after he's shot in the bicep. Yeah.
I said we weren't gonna have commentary for the first one.
I commented for the first one just to kind of set the scene so they know who all the individuals are, and then we can replay that. That's
I'm done.
It's on me. Just don't take your gun with you.
Got his mic. He's out of here.
So yeah, that was the video of the scumbags getting shot that deserve to be shot.
Yeah. Do we want to show that again? Or you can just rewind and you can rewatch it.
Well, yeah,
we'll play it again with no commentary.
Yeah, we already we'll play it again. And we'll kind of dissect it a little bit more as best we can. So yeah, as you guys can see in the video, he's being chased and he trips, and he fires, I believe, 3 shots in that video. First guy that
I think he shoots Huber several times, but he fires at 3 different individuals.
Yeah. I don't remember how many shots exactly, but the guy that goes to drop kick him, you can see the muzzle, the air come out. Kyle shoots up towards the guy that kicked him. He misses him. That guy gets out of there. Guy with skateboard. That's what the heck's that kid? Huber,
yeah.
Dead guy comes over and smacks him in the head with a skateboard. Kyle shoots him, rightfully so. Multiple times, I think. Yeah. Kills that guy, and then what's the kid's name? Gross Krutz comes up, has a gun. You can clearly see. We'll play it again, and you can see he's got a pistol in his hand. It's obvious, and there's pictures of him with a pistol.
Oh, and he testified to it during the trial as well.
So, yeah, it's definitely a pistol. So everyone's like, you didn't even know that he was armed. He was armed. Like, no, just shut up. He was armed. It was a pistol, okay? You can clearly tell. Yeah. So the controversy, some controversy is where when Kyle's on the ground and Grosskreutz puts his hands up, it seems like Kyle maybe goes to clear a malfunction and re-rack his rifle. And then at that point, it seems when his arm moves off, when his firing hand moves off, that's when Grosskreutz kind of charges him again. And that's kind of what the prosecution pushed. It was like, he fired, it malfunctioned. As he goes to clear it to fire again, Grosskreutz then they try to flip it. He was defending himself by going and trying to disarm Kyle. There's no real evidence. This is the only video that shows Kyle kind of taking his hand off here to go re-rack it.
And the actual testimony, Kyle did say that was not what occurred.
Yeah. And Grosskreutz couldn't really say for sure. So
as far as we know, that's not what happened.
As far as we know, that's not what happened.
It's a common argument people have made.
Yeah.
As a sort of justification for why Gage might have pointed his pistol at him.
Yeah. So then he shoots Gage in the bicep, runs away, and then at that point, right after the video, Kyle runs right up to the police, hands up, gun down, on safe, and basically it's like, hey, I just shot somebody, and that's where the video ends, with him running up to the police. So, I mean, you can't, I don't even know. The video speaks for itself. Like, you can only say so much. We don't have to defend him. Well, he's, innocent now.
Apparently, yeah.
There's no need to defend him. Like, you watch the video and you can just clearly tell, like, oh, wow, like
he's being attacked.
Yeah.
He's in the process of being attacked, and that's when he fires. And the only real argument there is if the first count where he shoots Joseph Rosenbaum, if that one they could have gotten him for murder, then the rest of them they could have gotten as well.
Yeah.
Because he would have been guilty of that, and then the crowd would have been trying to stop an active shooter, and that's an argument the prosecutor made, obviously not effectively. I think a lot of people, especially the people in the jury, it's hard to take anything the prosecutor said seriously.
He was stupid. It was embarrassing. Both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Binger, especially.
The fat redhead, and then the guy that, I don't even know. The dude with the
head prosecutor.
Yeah.
Who, during the trial, basically did what Seth did. He held up a rifle, except he pointed it at the jury and had his finger on the trigger. So whether it's loaded or not, that's something you don't do.
Dude, he said it was cleared for him. Why would he have to check it? He was told it was clear. It's fine. You don't need to check it. Yeah. Wait! That's what Alec Baldwin did.
Oh, yeah, we don't need to get into that.
Yeah, basically, literally the same thing happened. Honestly, Alec Baldwin was told his weapon was clear. Bang!
Shoots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. But yeah, basically the prosecutor does the same thing.
Yeah. So we kind of wanted to address this subject. We think it's really interesting how people can still kind of think he's guilty even after all the facts have been presented. Again, we understand prior to that when not all the information was out there.
But even still, you can go find the videos, and the videos speak for themselves. At no point does Kyle ever look like a guilty criminal or someone that was there. Like, there's videos of him cleaning off graffiti, administering first aid,
putting out fires. You can't argue that he went there just to kill people.
Because he could have slaughtered so many people. It would have been so easy. And the only people he shot were the people that attacked him. Yeah. That was it. If you wanted to go cat body, he could have left with a pretty impressive body count that night. And you know what? He didn't. And he actually turned himself in, too.
Yeah.
Twice.
And you know what was crazy? So this was one of the funniest moments of the trial for me. When the judge completely went off on the prosecutor for basically saying Kyle was guilty because he didn't talk before he had a lawyer present. Which is literally his right under the Constitution. Like, you don't have to talk. And
you shouldn't talk.
You really shouldn't without legal counsel.
Yeah, if you think the police are there to help you, they're not.
No.
So when you're convicted of a crime like that, anything you say I promise you, will be used against you.
But the prosecutor literally commented on his post-arrest silence, which you can't do because it's their right. And the judge just absolutely lit him up over that, which I thought was hilarious.
Well, they tried to.
And just it epitomizes. I can't talk today either.
That's fine, dude.
Epitomizes the entire trial. It was a joke.
Yeah. Which is also kind of discouraging why it took 3 days. But you know what? It came out how it was supposed to come out, and we can't complain. We're thankful for Kyle, because I mean, how long would he?
Oh, he would have received a minimum life sentence for first-degree intentional homicide.
No way.
And knowing the judge, it probably wouldn't have been life without parole. He probably would have had that opportunity at some point. But again, you think of, he did this when he was 17. He's 18 now. Just the prospect of life in prison over something so controversial at first, but now so obvious that it was self-defense, it would have certainly been a miscarriage of justice, which is a saying we're hearing a lot the other way.
Yeah.
Saying that he should have been
Mr.
convicted.
Jerry Nadler over here saying the justice system messed up, got it wrong. So now the Democrats are trying to indict him again in a federal court,
which won't happen,
to get the right verdict this time.
There's no precedent for this to be taken to a federal level. Federal courts would not try a murder case unless there were certain circumstances that would allow them to, and this one just, it doesn't have any of those factors. No. So I really don't see that happening, but you never know with them.
You never know with them. The Democrats today are, I'm going to make this comment. I've made this a few times now, and I'm going to make it again. I don't know how you can be a believer and vote Democrat in 2021.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I
mean, it's just tricky, because there's definitely aspects of the Republican Party too where it's not always reflective of Christian values.
Sure. And
neither party really is. So it's difficult. I can understand policy-wise in certain areas just falling under that Democratic umbrella, but in general, I would tend to agree with you on that. It really is hard to be a Christian.
See, you can't just pick and pull a few policies here and there. Like,
well, no,
the Democrat Party embodies something terrible today, because the onesies and twosies that are stand-up people vote Republican anyway. You know, they don't. The Democrats that we respect don't vote and side with these liberal psychos. You know, it just
it's tricky, because there's definitely a lot of people I know who are Democrats that I respect.
I don't know anybody that's Democrat that I respect. Honestly,
it's just,
you'll never convince me that it's logically sound for a Christian to vote Democrat ever, because it never is.
I can't necessarily agree with that, especially in smaller elections, because it's tough when you get to a national scale. But as far as like local officials and even state, there are some like moderate Democrats who I wouldn't be able to say they're not Christian. And generally, when it comes down to it, they vote for the right things. So policy-wise, sometimes they'll line up with Democrats, but when it comes to moral issues, they'll generally vote in the right way. So it's really tough to say all or none, just in general, but especially here, like I don't think it's indicative of all Democrats to say that.
Yeah, bro, you know what? You're probably right. I tend to be a little more extreme, but still.
I mean, like Trevor, for example, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
but, you know, there's got to be a few good. So.
Do we want to watch the video guy?
I don't think so.
Do you want to watch it? Sure, give us your.
Tell us what you're thinking.
What did you
talking about?
Let's get switch the camera to Trevor. Get me out of here. Yeah. Trevor, what did you, before this trial, what did you understand about the situation? I knew you were friends with us, so that probably helped a little bit.
Yeah, I still didn't understand all the facts. So even like at the beginning of the trial, I didn't understand everything. And then kind of as like the trial went on, like I learned all the stuff. Like Kyle didn't bring the gun from out of state. Kyle's family lives in Kenosha, like those sort of things, and just that he was kind of going there to help protect his parents and just protect the city as a whole. And so like he was a good guy, and like he didn't mean to do any harm, but like he meant to do harm, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't go in with the intention of doing harm.
He didn't go in with the intent to hurt anybody, but I mean,
when you're going into a riot, I understand wanting to have a firearm.
Yeah.
And it just so like it turns out he was right in bringing that.
Right. Yeah. And it
But
definitely like saved his life. So
Exactly.
good for him. So go cop.
We're all Team Rittenhouse here.
We are, but at the same time, I also think it's important to kind of take a more balanced approach where we've kind of heard, oh, he's a terrorist or oh, he's a hero. I just think he's a kid who got in a situation where he definitely shouldn't have been.
He shouldn't have
Where
been
he
there
was
because the
forced to
police.
make decisions
Yeah.
that were really
The police should have been there doing their job. The legislation and the mayors and the governors should have been doing their job. That never ever should have
and
happened.
the media shouldn't have kind of stoked the fire like they did, where they kind of jumped on stories without all the facts.
They're doing everything that they hated Donald Trump for doing.
Oh, it's amazing.
It
really
am
is.
disgusted. Oh my word. Dude, I'll tell you what. If Rittenhouse would have gone, even if they would have sent him to a high school detention for like a year because of it, and any punishment whatsoever for this, I would have lost all faith in Americans, and in America as a country, because if we lose our right to defend ourselves, which is what the Democrats and the left are trying to do, move out to the boonies and just get out of the cities.
God bless Canada.
No, stay away from Canada.
Canada is where
We know there's certain people out there that like to argue with us about how great Canada is. It's not. It's beautiful, but it's oh boy. Yeah, Canada.
Any thoughts for us, Cade?
It's real pretty up there, don't you know? I don't know, man.
What was that?
I don't know.
It's the whole thing is just like you said, should never been brought to trial. But if I'm Kyle, I'm suing the crap out of everybody else.
Oh, he's.
Everybody.
I expect him to, and if he doesn't, he's missing an opportunity.
It should be a Nick Sandman on steroids.
Oh,
He should
even
make
worse
so
than
much-
Sandman.
So much money from this, it's ridiculous.
CNN,
MSNBC,
MSNBC. Oh my
Sandman's
word.
still getting money from them?
Sandman.
I don't think he's
Sandman
still
just
getting
got-
money. He got a ton.
Yeah, and they're,
It was
like,
like-
he's trying to get more. I
I
believe.
think it was over
I think they're
$100 million.
yeah in the process.
Like
of
they
it.
weren't allowed to say, but it sounded like it was.
It was like anything I heard was
ridiculous.
like 80 to 200.
250.
Yeah, like
80 to
250.
250.
just insane. And Rittenhouse is going to be the same way because like they basically portrayed him as the worst of the worst
The
with
president.
no evidence.
Yeah, you can't sue the president, but like
That can't be
No.
an ad. Yeah, you can't sue the president, but you can sue the.
You could
organization
actually-
that
yeah,
You could sue his campaign.
yeah.
do it. I would. Are you kidding me? Look at it. Look. I was stupid. I should have grabbed that video so we could play the episode. Because that video with Kyle Rittenhouse is horrible. But
Yeah, they brutalized a kid to make a point that wasn't even a good
Everything's
point.
political.
none of their points are good nowadays. Can you hear me okay sitting back here?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's I feel bad for the kid, like more than anything.
Oh, definitely. And like watching him first cry on the stand, like you recognize for the first time exactly how hard that situation was.
Oh
for him.
yeah,
He still has, loses sleep over it.
Oh, of course.
I mean, that haunts him.
that's traumatic.
Mhm.
And then the second thing, when the jury read off the verdict, not guilty. I don't know if you guys watched that video, but it was crazy. Like he couldn't stand. Like he collapsed.
I bet you he went to bed thinking that after the first day of them being like they haven't come to a verdict, he's going to bed like, holy crap, I'm going to jail.
Well,
After the second day, it's like, holy crap.
it's an 18-year-old
Oh, my
kid
word.
who was going in there.
He should be in math
Either
class.
he was gonna get
He should
his
be in
money
history
back.
class, and instead he's in trial, facing life in prison.
I want to make a point that if you're the mother,
I'm gonna move over.
like if you're a mom and you're a Democrat mother, in that situation, your kid's in that situation, you want him to shoot. You don't want him to get his head back
Yes.
bashed in. No matter, like, it's a shoot, we'll figure it out afterwards.
Exactly.
Shoot now, ask questions later.
And
I would have shot more people. I would have.
Sure you want to make that on the podcast?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I think he
When you
handled
have
it
a
well.
bunch of people coming at you, this kid had insane discipline not to shoot more people. Because a lot of people would.
Yeah. I can't speak to exactly what I would have done, but I would probably be the same as you there. Like, I'd be freaking out, and if anyone's coming at me, I'm probably just shooting.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it seems like the only option. So, like, his discipline there, it's actually kind of incredible. And I don't want to make him out to be a hero, but I do think he did the best with a horrible situation.
He's a vigilante.
But from the standpoint of, like, if that's your kid in that situation,
Oh, yeah, like, what is the
I want to pull the
alternative?
trigger.
What if he doesn't shoot some kid?
The alternative is your kid doesn't come home that night.
Yeah.
That's a simple.
Or he's permanently disabled and just will never be the same ever.
Oh, yeah. You think a skateboard can't do a lot of damage? It can. Do some research.
Well, everyone knows that except for the prosecutors.
Like, look at people that have gotten their heads bashed in by skateboards. It's not pretty.
It would have been Glenn from The Walking Dead all over again.
I never watched Walking Dead.
Basically, some dude gets his head, like, smashed by, whatever. It's just...
You're talking
Dead
brain
fans out
damage,
there
you're
will
talking
understand.
the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. No, like, it's the best way this could have played out.
Yeah. Do you watch the video again?
I really don't think we need to. I feel like we accomplished a lot of what we wanted to do with this episode. You mentioned, like, having, or would have lost faith in the criminal justice system and your fellow citizens if he had been found guilty. And I think that just demonstrates how important this really was.
Yeah.
How much was on the line. Because if he doesn't have the right to self-defense in this situation,
No,
a lot of us don't. Unless it's like a super clear cut, which this was, but even more so. So I think that's really important for our right to self-defense and just maintaining that as a country that we still have it.
I'm curious to see how much harder they come after guns and
Yes.
two-way rights after this. I'm curious to see how hard they're going to come at it and what angles they're going to come at it from now because of this. But
Yeah, there's certainly a lot that's still going to come from this. It's far from over, but for Kyle at least, it's certainly a relief. And I'd imagine he's probably off the hook for good. No matter what people are trying to do.
you'd have to be a real
as far as
sick
Congress.
person to try to throw him in trial again.
Yeah.
To dig through all the videos and evidence and whatever, just to find something, some minuscule detail, like
And there's not-
possibly clearing a malfunction while he's on the ground. Like that's about the only thing that you have right now. But then there's no evidence for it, or that stupid picture that they tried to blow up of him aiming with his left hand. That's dumb. You know what? We'll go into that after this. But
Okay, I was gonna say,
we're gonna
you can do that right now.
Yeah, we're gonna prove why that's literally no. There's no way he would ever do what they're claiming he did with that stupid video. So we're gonna pause the stream or the episode. I think we were streaming for a second. And we'll get some camera angles set up and we'll go through this last clip and kind of show you.
I do just want to say first though, like you went into people trying to bring up all these other things. I think the trial was very comprehensive, and basically every element that could have been brought into it was. So he can't be retried. As far as double jeopardy is concerned, like he can't be retried in state court for those charges again. If they were to bring other charges, that's one thing. But federally speaking, he's not going to get. Like I'm very confident that he will not be tried.
I am
He
too.
won't-
But
he won't
Jerry
be tried in state
Nadler's
court either.
comment.
There's no precedent for it, so I don't expect that to happen. But I guess crazier things have happened before, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right, we're gonna get into some demonstration. I keep looking up, like I think the camera's there. We moved the camera, so now it's a little bit lower than it used to be. So
we have the screen right there, so
Yeah.
we're looking off that, and it's just
yeah,
it's messing with us a little bit.
we're in a new studio. A little bit smaller, but so far the setup's pretty good. So yeah, we're gonna pause this and come back when we got the camera set up, and we'll do a little demonstration, and that'll be the episode.
All right.
Okay, so this is going to be the demonstration of kind of the last piece of evidence that they tried to throw to the jury before they went to their deliberations and stuff. It was a picture of Kyle. It was real zoomed in and cropped, and it looked like he was doing this. The rifle's in my left hand, and it looked like he was doing something like, they tried to make it look like he was doing this and aiming his rifle at who was it? Rosenbaum? Is that?
First switch. It was when he was on the ground.
No. This is when he was standing.
Then it would have been Rosenbaum.
Then it was okay. So it was Rosenbaum. But before I kind of start waving this around, we're gonna freaking clear it out. Everyone, take a look in there. Tell me it's clear.
It is clear.
Is in fact
Kate, is it clear?
It's good.
There is nothing in the
It's
chamber.
clear. Camera, look, I can stick my finger up in there. There's no bullet, nothing in there. Okay. All right, I'm gonna fix this again. Got a nice little scope on there, don't you think? This, my friends, this is a fun thing to shoot. So, Kyle being a right-handed shooter. Every other picture we have of him is him. Now, I don't have a sling, sadly. Something I'm working on getting. But he had a sling, which means it would just sit like that. Imagine my arm's a sling. This is kind of how it would sit on him as a right-handed shooter. So every other video we have of him, and picture, he's walking, and it's like this. And his finger's off the trigger as well, which is good discipline. So, what they're trying to say is, for some reason, we have a table right here. Let's just say this is the car. It's him behind a car. Any right-handed shooter, you're not going to, behind cover, you're going to feel more than comfortable having your right-handed stance. There's one time you'll ever switch to a left-handed stance, and it is not behind cover. Because for me to switch it like this with my sling, I'm not as accurate, and it doesn't feel comfortable, and hold up. Okay, sorry. We got a buddy on his way over here, so I just want to make sure that wasn't him. Okay, we're good. Any right-handed shooter, cover's right here. You're going to want to, use it as cover. This feels comfortable to me. Honestly, I feel comfortable even shooting one hand. Honestly, that's how it's going to be for right-handed shooters. Left-handed shooters, it'll be the same for them. They'll want to shoot, one-handed. I've shot with my left hand a little bit, but that's just because I've shot a lot, and most people don't do that. I'm just weird, and I was also in the military, so I did a lot of stuff. I'll get back to what I was saying. So there's only one time you'll ever use your left hand, and that's there's a wall right here, right? If I'm clearing a room and there's a door and I need to move into the doorway, you're going to be about arm's length away. For me to be a right-hander, and if I'm going this way, for me to turn around, there's a lot of my body that's showing for that. To get my muzzle in the doorway, half my body's going to be past the door. So to switch it and be right-handed and just to clear a doorway, you can get the muzzle around there without showing anything. That's the only time you would do that, just to clear a weird hallway or a weird doorway. Never when you're outside and there's cover, and never would Kyle use his left hand, being a right-handed shooter. I just want to kind of go over that because it hasn't really been addressed before, and they're trying to say he was aiming his gun with his left hand. And that just, no. It doesn't feel normal. He would never do that. It just, even with my feet, it just makes so much more sense for him to do this. The only thing he could be doing is maybe maybe he had it unslung. He's trying to sling his rifle back. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in that picture. It's very blurry. It's hard to see. And it's been proven that it's been changed and edited with that software. So that's why they kind of threw it out. It wasn't a real crucial piece of evidence. But yeah, Kyle, the whole night, right-handed shooter. His hand never left here. Just a lot of people trying to make something out of nothing. And there's no way he would have, being outside, being around cars with cover, there's no way he ever would have used his left hand. It's not a thing. You don't do that. Even noobs that don't know much about firearms wouldn't even feel comfortable. No. Because those of us who are very experienced with rifles still rarely ever use our left hand. We use it, like I said, to clear certain areas in buildings, and Kyle was not in a building. So that's pretty much it for this little AR demonstration. Yep, we're glad Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty. That's how it should be. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sure everyone has their own opinions on the case, whether or not he should have been there. Can we change the camera? Can we get everyone in here?
Oh, I don't need to be in there.
You don't want to be in
Fine,
here?
I'm just I'll step. Oh,
Let's get Trevor in here.
I'm
Trevor,
coming.
let me get this. All right, I'm gonna go over.
Pretend like I'm sitting at the chair we were just at. Oh,
Or people
no.
freak out. Other way. Whoa.
But yeah, thanks for watching.
We're about to go have some grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Best way to spend a Sunday night.
That's
with
right.
the boys. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we'll get another episode out sooner than the last time.
Yep.
Seth and
See you in a
Trev, you guys
couple
are
weeks.
so cute. All right.
Still
Yeah,
no
see you
shade
next time.
November. You know, me and Trevor going
Yeah.
crazy.
Might be.
I don't even know what this
And
is.
Cade's doing
Cade,
pretty well.
Cade.
I
Flash
shaved.
beard.
Sorry.
Yeah. Flip it.
Flip